What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This is the Windy City Bropen PGA DFS Round 3 Showdown Throwdown. I'm going to get into some thoughts and plays that I have for tomorrow and also talk a little bit about the tournament so far. But before I get into that, I just want to remind you guys once again that For Fantasy's Sake charity golf outing that is on August 2nd. That's a Sunday. Starts at 8. Registration begins at 7:30. It's $280 a team. That's $70 a person. Included in this is, of course, 18 holes in a cart. You also get vouchers for Lifted Energy and Hungry Carnivore. And most importantly, it's helping give back to the community. All the proceeds of this event are going to go to community-driven efforts such as Toys for Tots. It's just really a great way to give back to the community. Super excited about the golf outing and just a good opportunity to help those in need, man. It just anytime you can give back to the community and help those in need, I think you should do it. And on top of that, we're going to play a little bit of golf. Windy City Bropen's got a team. You should too. If you're not interested in golfing or golf isn't your thing, but you do want to help and give back to the community, we are still looking for sponsors for holes and carts. So if you're interested and want to give back to the community, let myself or DJ know, and we'll help you get signed up for a sponsorship. Or if you're interested in golfing, let myself or DJ know, and we'll get you signed up. We'll get your team put in, and we'll see you on August 2nd. I really hope we can get more of you guys there. It'll be a really good time. You're going to get to see some of the Windy City Bropen crews swinging some clubs. We're going to see the For Fantasy's Sake crew swinging clubs. It's going to be a really good time. I hope to see you guys all there. But all right, we will get into the Charles Schwab Challenge. So the first 2 days have been, well, I won't say so much that it wasn't expected because there was a lot of rain coming in. So the conditions were going to be a little more receptive. And you saw that the first day especially. I mean, guys were lighting it up a little bit. And even today, guys were still putting up some scores out there today. I don't think that's going to be the case over the weekend. I think it is going to toughen up over the weekend, simply just because it's drying out. And I'm sure they're going to set it up tougher. Historically, this course, the winner is usually 12 under to 15 under. So I can't imagine it gets too much crazier over the weekend. I think it'll be tougher over the weekend. As far as myself goes for this week, a couple 5 of 6s. Unfortunately, Ricky decided to shit his pants on the back 9 and fire a 42. Gave me a little PTSD of when I started this whole thing with Hao Tong Lee at the Waste Management Open when he had like 6 or 7 bogeys in a row. This is very reminiscent of that. And what hurts even more is like he was 4 under through 9. I mean, it was like, oh man, he really bounced back. He was even going in the day, and he was 4 under going into the back 9. So it's like, just battle a little bit. If you lose one here or there, it's not too bad, as the cut ended up being 2 under. But yeah, unfortunately, he just shit his pants. He didn't have his approach play at all this week. And if I'm being honest, he kind of luck sacked on the front 9 anyways. He had a couple chip-ins, and it's just like that's just not going to happen. He was getting lucky. So unfortunately, that leads to 2 5 of 6s. And also, he's the only 9K guy that didn't make the cut. Only 9K guy and above that didn't make the cut. Very, very frustrating because the rest of the lineup was looking pretty solid. Had some good plays in there. Lee Hodges, Tom Kim, Russ Henley, guys like that, Alex Smalley, guys that are right around it. So it is a little frustrating for Ricky to fall apart like that. But that's PGA DFS, man. And the good news, though, is yesterday had a couple first-round leader bets that hit. Could have been a couple $100 more if Lee Hodges wouldn't have bogeyed 18. But I had a Lee Hodges and an Andrew Putnam ticket. Both of those ended up paying a sixth of what the payout would be because it was a 6-way tie for first. Dead heat rules on DraftKings. Ended up making a little over $100. Not going to complain about it. That's you'll take it. That's 2 weeks in a row. I've been either in the mix for a first-round leader or got a first-round leader hit. There's a couple outright bets I still have alive, minus Ricky, of course. But I threw a couple out there. So we'll see how that shakes out over the weekend. As far as some of the fades this week, I mean, Finau and Grazerman missed the cut, so that's a good fade. JJ, on the other hand, I said it on the show on Wednesday night. JJ is gonna probably make me regret it. And right now, he's making me regret it. Kind of in hindsight, it's like he's a great ball striker, and I have a little bit of a bias towards him because when I started watching golf, um, JJ Spawn was just an average player at best. I mean, he really wasn't like he is right now. And so sometimes I have a hard time separating myself from that bias because I've seen him when he was just really your run of the mill golfer on tour. He was T40 weekly or worse, you know? It wasn't like he was crazy good lighting it up like he has the last year and a half. Um, but I think that's just a lesson to be learned there is sometimes, you know, you got to get your biases out of the way and look at the stats. I mean, even on my model, JJ Spawn was number 2, and I completely let my bias keep me from playing him. He's not a good bent surface putter, but I don't think that mattered as much this week. I think I got a little too heavy on that. I know ball striking was obviously the most important thing and keeping the ball in the fairway. I probably should have thought a little less of the putting. And maybe that opens my eyes to him, but that's kind of the lesson here. You need look at the stats to separate the name from the stats and just play the player. Ricky Fowler was a fine play. I mean, there's nothing statistically that said not to play him. It's just PGA DFS. You know, guys can have it and lose it real quick. So that's just something to keep in mind. Like try to eliminate biases. I mean, there are some guys that you don't bet outright winner on or things of that nature, but just keep that in mind. You know, try to separate the stats from the biases if you can. But other than that, you know, a couple good fades there. Like I said, Spawn's having a good week. Hubbs, Hodges, and Glover all made the cut. Glover snuck in with the Jackson Suber shit down his leg double that expanded the cut line. It was going to be 3 under, but he doubled the last hole, so that pushed it to 2 under. And actually, shout out to my boy Dylan. That got his guy Pearson Cootie inside the cut line, giving him a 6-6. So hopefully he can go out and make some noise this weekend. But Pari was not a good play this week. He missed the cut. So we had a couple good calls this week. Fowler obviously missed the cut. The 2 other guys that I was playing are Bobby Mack and Decky. I didn't get to Bobby in my lineup, but Decky I did, and Decky's in second right now, and I've got an outright on Decky. I've got an outright on Russ. Just to be fully transparent, with how some of my fades have been going, I have been just in case I'm wrong, I do throw a little sprinkle on the guy. I bet an outright on JJ this week just because I knew he would just he would make me look like an idiot for fading him in DFS. So I threw a little bit on him. As far as for tomorrow goes, tomorrow, like I said, I think the weekend's going to play a lot tougher. So you're definitely going to want to take that into consideration. The morning conditions are going to be a little more favorable because it's going to be a little more receptive. So there's probably a little bit of an advantage to the morning guys. But at the end of the day, you got to keep the ball in the fairway here. So keep that in mind. Like you want guys that keep it in the fairway here. Even though we're into Showdown because week longs, you know, you obviously can't build a week long lineup. Still get fairway finders out there. A couple guys that I think have a good putting regression possibility are Chandler Blanchet, Doug Gim, Lucas Glover, and Hubbs, Mark Hubbard. Those guys all lost a decent amount of strokes putting. They're all ball striking really well too. I mean, that's what you want is ball strikers, and then just hope that the putter flips. That's really what I'm looking for in those 4 guys is like values. I haven't quite looked at the pricing yet, but they all should be pretty cheap, good value plays. Doug Gim might be mid 7s, but and Hubbs and Glover might be low 7s, and Blanchet might be high 6s. Those are all good value plays. Tom Kim is another one. He absolutely lit the world on fire yesterday. And then he came crashing back down to earth a little bit today. He just didn't have a good day at all. But he lost about 3 strokes short game. And I know he's not a good putter by any means, but he's a good ball striker. And I could see him bouncing back tomorrow and having a better round. So he'd be a guy that I'll be looking at pretty seriously too. Couple guys that I'm looking to fade tomorrow. I'm looking at fading Gary Woodland and Akshay Bhatia. Bhatia gained almost, I think it was like 2.5 strokes putting today. I don't think he's going to do that tomorrow. I could see him definitely falling apart. I don't think he's a good play tomorrow. Gary Woodland, another guy. I don't think he gained on approach at all today. And I don't know. I think over the weekend you're going to need that because it's going to be tougher. These greens are really small, so over the weekend you're not going to get the same bounces you were getting the first 2 days. So I could see Gary Woodland taking a big step back as far as this weekend goes. The guys up top that I think could make a push tomorrow and throughout the weekend and maybe even win are Ryan Gerard, JJ Spawn, and Decky. Um, Ryan Gerard, I was talking to Rob when we built our lineup on Wednesday night, and I saw Ryan Gerard sitting there, not really highly owned or projected for high ownership. I thought this course made a lot of sense for him, but he really has not been playing that great since the beginning of the year. Um, but he was a guy that you could take a chance on at 7,800, who at his peak probably plays as good as some of the guys playing in the mid eights, high eights. So I think if he can keep up his ball striking this weekend, you could see him get a top 5 finish, maybe even win. He might win when it's all said and done, but we'll see. JJ Spawn, I already talked about him. He's ball striking. If the putter's going, he's going to be in the mix. He's had a pretty solid start to the tournament. Uh, Definitely has a chance to win. And then Decky. Decky's playing really good. And Decky was to me, like the time to play Decky, in my opinion, is when the field's not like touting him heavily. Like there'll be some courses that he's going to get 20+% ownership simply because of the style of player he is. But Rob and I were talking about this. Does Decky have form? Like, we look at golfers and we try to discern, like, all right, is he in good form or how's his form going? I don't know that Decky has form. Like, he could be playing really well and then just lay an egg. And then he could be playing really bad and he could come out and win a tournament. Decky's kind of an enigma in that sense. Um, he's playing good. He was so far a good shout on week long just because he didn't get that much ownership and he's in second place right now. Um, those three are guys that I think could really make some noise this weekend, and you could see one of those three names at the top of the leaderboard come Sunday at the end. Uh, so I'll be looking at those guys, and just the way it's set up for this tournament. If you like a guy that's 6 or 7 under that you think maybe this is their week and they're going to make a push over the weekend, you probably get some decent odds on them for a live bet. So that's something I'd probably look into if you're looking to maybe get some action this weekend. Maybe Showdown's not your thing, but you're still wanting to watch golf and maybe wager some money. I would look at that 5, 6, 7 under range, maybe 8 under, and see what kind of odds you can get on your sports book. And if you're getting and if you're getting sorry just sorry, I got a text message on my phone. It popped up there. Yeah, if you're getting good odds there on the live betting, and you got a guy that you like who you think is going to get hot over the weekend, it's not a bad opportunity to take a stab at it. I'll be interested tomorrow to see with the cut line expanded. It was going to be exactly 65 golfers. With the cut line expanded, I'll be interested to see if they have threesomes tomorrow. Might be worth getting into the three ball. My buddy Rob got robbed last night by Patrick Rogers. After the delay, Patrick Rogers birdied 3 of the last 4 holes to beat Keith Mitchell, and my buddy ended up losing out on $7,000, but he got their ass today. I think he ended up winning like $4,500, $4,400 on a couple different three ball parlays. Shout out Mac Meisner. He made some big putts for Rob down the stretch, and big win, Rob. But I think that's about all I'm going to have for tonight. I'm hoping to get into the Showdown streets these next 2 days. Like I said, I had 2 5 of 6s. I think the cut rate was 16% on at least the lotto. I'm not 100% sure about the single entry, but maybe there's a backdoor min cash opportunity in the single entry. Rob and I built a pretty good lineup. I mean, it's got Tom Kim, Doug Gim, Alex Smalley, Decky, and Tom Hoagie. I mean, those are 5 guys inside the top 35. Unfortunately, like I said, Ricky shit his pants and kept us from a 6 of 6. but it could be a solid lineup. Could if you cash, you're happy with it. If you cash with a 5 or 6, you're taking that every time. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are interested in the content and you enjoy PGA DFS golf in general, please give us a follow over at Windy City Bro Pen on Facebook. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the social media platforms. Feel free to give us a follow. Follow for fantasy's sake, and subscribe for YouTube. That's where I do my live streams, is through for fantasy's sake on YouTube. Give us a like, share, and follow, man. I love talking golf. If you guys want to get to talking more about golf and just tell me what your thoughts are, I'm all ears, man. I love hearing people's different opinions. We all have different opinions on golfers, different ways to approach each week. Anytime you guys want to chat, I'm always down. Other than that, though, you guys have a good Friday night. Thanks for tuning in, and I will talk at you on Sunday.